Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the hard count.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I am your host, Ricky. Alongside me, as always, is the Cobra. With us today is Ben and JP, and we are basically going to cover a little bit of the news going on in the NFL. If you want to hear predictions or holla at your boy content, feel free to come on to our Twitch cast live on Tuesdays or listen to that replay here on Spotify. So, how are you guys doing today?
Doing well.
I'm doing as well as I can. Currently dealing with a little bit of a leg issue.
Okay, here's
Got-
Cobra's on the man. So
that's why I got my
basically-
compression tights on from Sleeves.
I'm
Okay.
dealing
They
with
are
a hernia,
they are affiliated with us. A link is in the Spotify description down below.
All right. So basically, what we're going to do here on the hard count, a nice little quick show, where we're going to cover some of the topics in the news with the NFL this week. First and foremost, want to talk about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is benched and possibly will be released in March from the Denver Broncos after signing that $245 million deal. So one, I'm gonna ask each of you guys where I'm gonna ask you guys where Russell Wilson will be basically playing in 2024. We'll start off with Ben, then JP, then Cobra, then me. Okay, and if anybody else jumps in, we go ahead and do that. So Ben, where do you see Russell Wilson next year?
Well, unless he eats a big, huge, humble apple pie, I really don't see him going anywhere. Because the reason why he's benched is because he turned down restructuring his contract to better the team. He's too hot head. He's too big for his head and shoulders, man. He's just, if anything, somebody's going to overpay for him, and if that team is going to be the team, and that's going to be Washington.
All right, JP.
I honestly think that he needs to retire, but if he plays next year, I look for him to go to Buffalo and maybe back up Josh Allen. So Buffalo.
That's not gonna happen.
I doubt that will happen. I mean, first off, Buffalo is they're having cap issues of their own. Buffalo right now
is talking to Josh Allen to restructure his contract
again.
Again,
but no, like looking at over the cap for next year, Buffalo's the second worst going into next year. Only worst team in the NFL in terms of salary cap condition is the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints.
They reached for Derek Carr.
Well, no,
Taysom Hill.
Anyway, I'm just saying, the New Orleans Saints, as it sits right now, are $90 million over the salary cap.
Yep.
Didn't they sign Taysom Hill to like a $40 million contract or something?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Well, I'm just saying they're probably going to restructure a lot of people, but yeah, as it stands, this New Orleans Saints, $87 million in the red.
Yeah. So going to me, I'm playing off Ben here. Of basically Ben saying there's got to be some team stupid enough to reach for Russell Wilson's asking price, because Russell Wilson completely ruined his relationship with the Denver Broncos because of his ego. But that's why I think he'd probably be a perfect fit in Washington.
Okay.
Because Jacoby Brissett, while he's a quality backup, he is probably not the best teacher for Sam Howell, if they're going to go with Sam Howell. If they're going
hope they do.
Either they keep Sam Howell or he ends up with the USFL riding the punt.
What? I hate you.
You're welcome. But yeah, either he goes. I think Washington probably be stupid enough to go after him. Maybe the Panthers.
I can see
But
that. Or
but other than
Patriots.
that, either those two teams or he retires. Ricky.
So, basically, looking at the over the cap, there are a few teams that, in my opinion, could very well reach for Russell Wilson that have cap space. Teams to definitely look at that might go ahead and do that are Washington, who right now sit at $81 million under the salary cap. And that's before the league moves up.
Yeah.
So,
And a reminder: the salary cap is increasing next year.
yep,
And that's before Washington releases all their entire offensive line.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Well, they're going to probably reach for them too.
They're probably going to
Reach,
reach.
but
They're
that-
probably blow it up.
Then again,
Reach for the sky.
Tennessee Titans are $77 million under the cap. The Patriots are $73 million. Russell Wilson
Could land there.
could land there.
I can see
The Bears may reach, but I mean, of the teams, I definitely will say possibly the Commanders. Why? Because Russell Wilson is a washed-up quarterback, and the Washington Commanders have a wonderful way about getting washed-up quarterbacks.
That would-
Donovan McNabb,
Jeff George, Danny Werfel,
Chad Pennington,
Alex
Mark
Smith,
Brunell, Todd Collins,
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
Who was the other guy? Mr. Beard guy from Harvard.
Oh,
Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Who had an Aaron Rodgers injury.
But yeah, that
Here's
was
here's a
that
good.
Was, that was
so I
team
just thought of-
14.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
But
What if he goes where Belichick goes?
Not
we'll
gonna happen.
see. I mean, honestly, Russell Wilson, showing that he was a system quarterback in Washington.
Wait. You said, Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, Seattle, Washington. Over with Pete Carroll. I mean, not gonna lie, that's kind of gonna be the fate of Geno Smith as well.
Russell Wilson's career is basically kind of like Donovan McNabb's career, where he went to another team and wasn't willing to cooperate.
He
Yep.
eats. Chef Russ is cooked.
Yep, Chef Russ is.
Oh yeah,
All right.
he's
Well, enough of Russell Wilson because seriously, that guy's been talked about way too damn much. Anyway.
Ruckus Country.
Yeah,
That's right.
yep. All right.
dancing with the stars.
So, basically, our final topic of the day. This is kind of quick.
Yeah, this is a quickie. This is not.
Because I mean, like, not gonna lie, we just wanted to kind of come out, touch up on a couple of things that happened this week, and then definitely wish you guys a wonderful Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, and I'll get to that at the end of it.
But yeah, so basically the final thing is just this race. The most interesting race right now in the NFL is for the division winner in the AFC South.
Yeah. Three teams are competing.
Yep, 3 teams are in it. One is on the uptick. One is
Stagnating.
it reminds
One's
me.
stagnating and the other one is dropping.
Well, no,
One of them was
No.
a dead bird.
nope. I'm gonna say this reminds me of the console wars. Because
Which
where
one?
so basically Jacksonville is Sony, Houston is Xbox, and the Colts are Nintendo.
I was gonna say more along the lines of Nintendo 64, Sony PlayStation, and Sega Saturn / Dreamcast.
But no, that's just kind of rolling with that, showing my nerd. But yeah, like right now the Houston Texans are
because that makes the Titans the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, no. Tennessee is Sega. They're out of it.
Sega.
Wow.
But yeah, so basically, Trevor Lawrence, he's not playing this week. It's going to be CJ Beathard, captain in the Jaguars against the Panthers.
Poor Penn.
Yep. I mean, Carolina victory to lock in Arizona as the number 1 seed. Then we have CJ Stroud coming back from concussion protocol to play against the Titans.
Oh yeah.
So, and
Mhm.
the Indianapolis Colts are, I forget who they're facing, but I definitely want them to lose. But yeah, of those three teams, and this will be also a question that we put on the Spotify, is which is the team that is going to be the man out in of those three? Which team will not make the playoffs? Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or Houston? Go ahead, Ben. Tell me who you think.
What's their records currently?
I
I
think
think they're all tied.
at like 8-7. I think like they're
Okay.
all 8-7.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville's going to be out.
Yep, and Cobra is right. They're all 8-7. So, so Ben is going with Jacksonville.
JP.
JP, what do you think? Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or the Texans? Which is the odd man out of the playoffs?
The odd man out, unfortunately, my sister's going to Texas, so I'm going to have to say Houston is the odd man out.
Fair. Cobra.
I'm looking up the playoff standings playoff picture right now, because I think mine's going to be a little different because I think I can have two teams eliminated. I think Jacksonville and Indianapolis are going to be the odd men out because of the Texans and the Steelers.
Steelers?
Yes.
Don't
I'm
you dare.
not going Yinzer.
Don't you dare.
I'm not going Yinzer. But the reason, and there's legit reason for that. Jacksonville cannot get out of this can't get out of this quagmire they've gotten themselves into, and Indianapolis they've been suspect. Texans only have lost the past couple games because they haven't, or past game because they didn't have CJ Stroud.
I feel like Jacksonville has been playing Trevor Lawrence hurt all entire year.
Not an
Maybe-
entire year,
yeah.
but past few games, yes.
Not the
He's
entire
not
year,
been
no.
the same. He's not been the same. He's been hurt a lot this year, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, like, honestly, and
Yeah.
after the Cincinnati game, they should have just let him sit and rest.
Yeah,
Basically let CJ Beathard go ahead, captain the ship, trust that offense and that defense in Jacksonville instead of trying to force him to come back, and get
That might
himself
have-
into an even worse situation.
Yes.
So like, the handling of injuries in the NFL, it definitely causes a little bit of pause for these
and
teams.
I think the NFL is especially on thin ice, especially after the injury that happened at the Jets-Browns game. Oh, that was terrible.
Was
I
it?
didn't-
Okay, so
I didn't see
okay, no. He's probably talking about the Elijah Moore.
Yes.
Okay, the Elijah Moore injury. All right. The Elijah Moore injury. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, he flinched. He had a seizure down on the field. All right, but if you look at the hit, it for the result of the play and what happened, what happened down on the field, reminds me a lot of when Dale Earnhardt passed away in Daytona. All right, that hit, the Dale Earnhardt take that killed him, was not that bad of a wreck if you look at a NASCAR wreck.
And speaking of, that should be a plug for the NASCAR.
That is
podcast.
a plug for the lap down, which will start in February. Well, actually, is it February? Or you guys starting in the
NASCAR
middle of the month? Because I
Should be
know
next.
Daytona.
Should be next week.
So the lap down will start. Episodes will
they-
start being played. Be JP, Ben. Ben, are you going to be talking on the lap down? I know it's
As
not
long
going
as
to be
I'm
me and
not working.
Cobra.
As long as I'm not working, I should be there. Jamie, Gregory, and
What?
Mr. Rumble.
And now, is it just going to be podcast or is it going to be Twitch cast?
It's going to be a podcast for right now, unless we decide to do video.
Right.
Okay, so basically just letting our viewers know this is kind of definitely the plug for the lap down. So that'll be available for our Spotify listeners.
Every Wednesday.
and probably we'll run the same thing with the Social Sports Pad podcast, where or with with the NFL Twitch cast, basically where like the next season you guys will probably have like a Twitch thing on Wednesdays.
All right.
But yeah, I definitely am saying the Jags are going to be the odd man out.
Yeah.
Cincinnati proved, like, if Cincinnati had beaten Pittsburgh last week,
Cincinnati
then
would have.
Cincinnati would have taken the division, or not the division spot, but the wild card spot that Indianapolis is probably going to take.
But Cincinnati's on the downswing. Sadly, they need Joe Burrow. They don't have him.
I mean,
I don't know. Joe Burrow,
even when he was in there, they didn't do good.
Yeah.
But anywho, Ricky.
So, just on that note, for everybody, we here at the Social Sports Pad podcast wish you all a happy New Year. Please be safe out there if you are driving. No drinking and driving. That doesn't
mix well.
It's definitely especially coming from us when we span out into racing. Yeah, no racing on tomorrow night when you guys are driving home.
We would also like to thank you for listening to us this whole entire year, whether it be football, whether it be the off season, or just happen to be look at us on Twitch.
Yep, absolutely.
Ugly mugs.
Yeah, we definitely grew.
Ben, bitch, I'm adorable.
I said, well, I don't know about all.
But we definitely grew this year in 2023, and we are looking ahead to 2024. We're looking to grow even more. We're definitely going to go back into throwing some stuff out on YouTube, posting some stuff there, branching out a little bit to bring more accessibility and more things to your attention. Hopefully we'll be able to do a better job in 2024 than we did in 2023. On that note, everybody, I am Ricky from the Social Sports Pad podcast.
I'm Cobra.
All right, and thank you, Ben and JP, for joining us tonight. And we definitely want to wish you all the listeners a good night,
a good week,
and always
a good season,
and also
a happy new year.
And always remember, don't get eliminated.
Ooh, don't get eliminated.
Drink responsibly.
Hey Ben,